honest talk, a real one, not small talk, not surface conversation, but an actual honest talk that carries weight. That is the kind of thing that changes the air in a room, the kind of thing that moves something between two people permanently. And I feel like for those of you drawn to this reading, that kind of conversation has been a long time coming with this person. There has been things left unsaid between you, things hovering in the space of your connection that neither of you fully addressed. Maybe there were moments that got close, moments where it felt like it was about to happen, and then something shifted and it did not. But the cards are coming through right now and saying that this time this person is not going to pull back from it. They are ready. So let's go ahead and see what is actually here, because the energy around this is moving fast and it wants to come through clearly. The first card coming through for this reading is the Eight of Wands. And wow, this card is everything for this message. The Eight of Wands is rapid movement. It is communication that has been held back, finally releasing all at once in a rush of energy. This is the card I see when something that has been building quietly behind the scenes suddenly becomes very real and very present. I feel like this person has been holding words inside of them, specific things they have wanted to say, and the dam is about to break. Not in a chaotic way, not in an out of control way, but in the way it feels when someone has finally made their mind up completely. The Eight of Wands is directional. It knows where it is going, and it is going straight towards you with everything it has been carrying. I feel like the honest talk that is coming is not going to be vague or uncertain. This person has thought about what they want to say. They have sat with it, they have turned it over, and they are coming to you with intention, with a clear sense of what they need you to know. The next card here is the Queen of Swords, and I find this card fascinating in this position because of how specific it is. The Queen of Swords is about cutting through the noise, about someone who has decided that clarity matters more than comfort right now. I feel like this person has reached a point where dancing around the truth feels worse to them than actually speaking it out loud. There was a version of them that was willing to keep things ambiguous, to let things stay undefined. And that version is stepping aside now. The Queen of Swords does not soften things unnecessarily, but she also does not speak from cruelty. She speaks from a place of honesty. And I feel like that is the energy this person is bringing into this conversation. Not harsh, not aggressive, but real and direct. They are coming to say what is actually true, not what is safe, not what keeps things comfortable, but what is genuinely and honestly true. The third card coming through here is the Six of Cups. And this card is adding such an important layer to why this talk is happening now. The Six of Cups is the card of the past coming back in, of history between two people rising up to the surface and asking to be looked at. I feel like part of what this honest talk is going to involve is something rooted in the shared history between you and this person. There is a thread that connects where you started and where you are now, and this person wants to pull on that thread and follow it. Maybe it is something from earlier in your connection, something that was glossed over or left without the conversation it deserved. The Six of Cups coming through here is saying that the past is not being left behind in this moment. It is being brought into the present. And I feel like that is actually meaningful because it tells me this person sees your history as something that matters to what comes next. This is not them starting over from zero. This is them honoring where you have been while also deciding to move towards something more honest. So the title of this reading, the idea that they are about to have an honest talk with you, is very much confirmed in these cards. The energy is direct, it is intentional, it is rooted in something real, and it is coming toward you with a sense of purpose. I feel like for a lot of you, there is also a sense of relief starting to come in around this, even if nerves are mixed in with it. Because part of you has wanted this conversation too, has wanted someone to finally just say the real thing rather than the easy thing. And the cards are reflecting that back. They are showing me that both of you are carrying something that needs to be spoken between you. This person is just the one who is deciding to open that door first. Let's continue and see what is on your side, because before we go any deeper into this person and what they are bringing forward, the cards want to speak to you first. I feel like your emotional state around this situation has been more layered than you have probably let on to the people around you. There's a complexity to how you have been feeling about this connection, and I think a lot of you will recognize yourself in what comes through. The first card coming through for your side of this reading is the Ten of Wands. And I feel like this card is so honest right now. The Ten of Wands is about someone who has been carrying a heavy load, not physically, but emotionally and mentally with the situation. I feel like you have been holding a lot in your mind around this person, turning things over, trying to figure out what is real. There has been a weight to it. Like you have been managing your feelings about this connection while also trying to keep your everyday life moving. And I feel like that weight is something you have been carrying mostly in private without fully letting people see how much it has been occupying you. Maybe you told yourself it was not that big a deal. Maybe you tried to put it in perspective, but inside it has held a significant amount of space. The Ten of Wands is not here to make you feel bad about that. It is here to acknowledge it, to say the cards see exactly what you have been holding. And it is also saying that the weight you have been carrying around this situation is about to be put down because clarity is on its way. The next card coming through for your energy is the Seven of Cups. And wow, this card tells me so much about where your mind has been. The Seven of Cups is the card of someone living inside multiple possibilities at once, running through different versions of how something could go. I feel like you have been doing a lot of that with this person, imagining different scenarios, different outcomes, different versions of this conversation. Maybe in some of those versions it goes beautifully, and everything you have been hoping for gets confirmed and spoken out loud. Maybe in others it goes differently, and you brace yourself for a truth that might not be the one you were hoping to hear. And I feel like that back and forth between hope and caution has been exhausting in a quiet way, like your mind has not been able to rest on this. The Seven of Cups is saying you have been living in the uncertainty of all those possibilities, and it has made it hard to feel settled. Because when you do not know what someone is really thinking or what they are really going to say, your mind fills in all the blanks. And some days those blanks get filled with hope, and other days they get filled with doubt, and you have been swinging between both. But here is what the cards are telling me about your actual feeling underneath all of that mental noise, and I want you to hear this despite the uncertainty, despite the back and forth in your head. Your heart has stayed very consistent about what it wants in this situation. The next card for your side is the Strength card, and I feel like this is the most accurate and important card for you right now. Strength is not always loud, it is not always visible, and I feel like the strength you have shown in this situation has been very quiet. You have held yourself together while not knowing. You have kept your dignity while feeling uncertain, and that takes more than people realize. I feel like some of you have had moments where you wanted to push for answers, wanted to force the conversation that is now coming on its own. And the fact that you held back, that you gave this person the space to arrive at this moment on their own terms, says a lot about you. The Strength card is honoring that patience. It is honoring the emotional maturity you have brought to something that was not always easy to sit with. And it is also telling me that when this honest talk comes, you are going to be more prepared for it than you are giving yourself credit for. Because everything you have processed quietly on your own has been building toward this moment. You are not walking into it unprepared at all. I feel like there is also something coming through about what you are genuinely hoping this conversation will give you beyond just answers. You want to feel like you matter enough to this person to deserve their honesty, like the connection is real enough to hold the truth. And the Strength card combined with the Seven of Cups is saying that you do matter that much. And this conversation is proof of exactly that. This person coming forward with honesty is not a small thing. It is a direct reflection of how much they value what they have with you. So as we head into the next layer of this reading, I want you to carry that with you because it is something the cards are very clear about. Now let's move forward and see what is coming through. Because now we are turning this completely around and going into this person's world, into what has been happening inside of them. I feel like this layer is going to answer a lot of questions for you, especially around why this honest talk is happening right now. Because the timing of something like this is never random, there is always a reason, a tipping point, something that brought them here. The first card coming through for this person's energy is the Hermit card, and I feel like this is so fitting for what has been going on with them. The Hermit is the card of deep inner retreat, of someone who has gone very far inside themselves to examine something with full honesty. I feel like this person has been in a private season of reflection around you and around what this connection means to them. Not in a cold or disconnected way, but in the way someone gets quiet when they are actually taking something seriously and thinking it all the way through. They have been asking themselves some very real questions, hard questions, the kind that you can only answer when you are being fully honest with yourself. And the Hermit card is telling me that they have been sitting with those questions long enough to finally have some answers they are ready to share. This is not someone who is coming to you with half-formed thoughts or uncertain energy. This is someone who has done the internal work. The Hermit retreats so that he can return with clarity, and that is exactly what this person has been doing, retreating so they can return to you. I feel like for a lot of you, this period of quiet from them, if there has been one now, makes much more sense in light of this card. They were not pulling away because of disinterest. They were pulling inward because they needed to figure out what they actually want to say. The next card here for this person is the Three of Swords reversed. And this card is bringing through something very specific and very real. The Three of Swords reversed is about the process of healing from something painful, about someone who has sat with a wound and worked through it. I feel like this person has been carrying some kind of hurt around this situation, maybe something that happened between you that left a mark. They have been using it as a mirror, examining what it showed them, allowing it to point them toward what they actually need and want. The reverse position here tells me the acute pain of that wound is lifting, and what is rising in its place is a desire for resolution. I feel like this is part of the motive behind why they are coming forward. There is something they need to address, something to clear the air, and they have realized that the only way to actually move forward in whatever direction that ends up being is to say the truth out loud. The third card coming through for this person is the Chariot, and this card is showing me exactly where they are energetically right now. The Chariot is determination. It is willpower. It is someone who has made a decision and is now fully committed to following it through. There is a very specific kind of resolve in the Chariot energy, a feeling of I have decided and I am not going to talk myself out of it. I feel like this person has had conversations with themselves before about coming forward and then backed away before they got there. The Chariot is coming through and saying that pattern of retreating is done. They are not backing out of this one. The decision is locked in. What shifted for them, what triggered this new level of resolve. I feel like it was a very specific realization about what silence was costing them. There was a moment where they looked at what they were holding back, looked at what staying quiet was doing to them and to the connection. And something in that moment told them that the discomfort of honesty was nothing compared to the quiet cost of continuing to avoid it. I feel like for some of you, there may have also been an external moment, something that happened recently that brought things into sharp focus. Maybe something reminded them of you in an unexpected way. Maybe something made them confront how much this connection actually means to them. Whatever that trigger was, it combined with everything they had already been processing in that Hermit energy, and it created the tipping point. The Chariot, the Hermit, and the Three of Swords reversed together are painting a picture of someone who has genuinely done the work here. They are not coming to you impulsively. They are not coming from a reactive place. They have earned this moment through real inner honesty. And I feel like when they actually show up for this conversation, you are going to be able to feel the weight and the sincerity behind it. Let's keep going and see what is here for you, because now we are moving into what this person is actually about to do, how this honest talk comes forward and what shifts because of it. And I feel like the cards are being very specific in this position, which tells me the movement around this is not vague or far off. The first card coming through here is the King of Cups, and I feel like this is such a telling card for how this person is going to show up. The King of Cups is emotional mastery. It is someone who has learned how to hold their feelings and communicate from a place of real maturity. I feel like this person is not going to come to you with chaos or with reactivity. They are going to come to you with composure. There is a groundedness to the King of Cups energy that tells me they have thought about how they want to have this conversation and what they want to bring to it. Not scripted, not rehearsed in a cold way, but intentional, measured, coming from a place of genuine emotional clarity and readiness. I feel like for some of you, this might be surprising because maybe in the past this person has not always been this emotionally present with you. Maybe there were conversations before where they deflected or got defensive or found a way to avoid the real depth of what needed to be said. The King of Cups in this position is telling me that version of them is not the one who is showing up for this conversation. This is a more emotionally evolved version of this person, one who has done enough internal work to be able to meet you in a real way. And that shift in how they are showing up is itself one of the changes that this honest talk is going to bring into your dynamic. The next card coming through in this position is the Two of Wands, and this card is adding something very specific about how this unfolds. The Two of Wands is the card of someone standing at a threshold, holding a vision of what they want and actively planning how to step into it. I feel like this person has a sense of what they want the outcome of this conversation to be. They are not going into it without direction. They have a vision of where they want things to go between you, and the honest talk is how they intend to begin moving toward that vision. The Two of Wands also has a boldness to it, a willingness to step into unknown territory rather than staying in the familiar and comfortable. And I feel like that is significant here because having an honest conversation takes a kind of courage, especially when the stakes feel real. This person is stepping into that courage consciously. They are choosing the uncertainty of honesty over the false safety of staying quiet. I feel like for a lot of you, the way this conversation actually comes through might be more direct than you are expecting it to be. Like there will be less preamble than you might anticipate, less warming up before they actually get to the thing they need to say. The Chariot energy from the last part of this reading is still very present here, that locked in determination moving things forward quickly. So when this moment comes, stay with it, stay present with them, because the directness of it might catch you a little off guard at first. The third card coming through here is Justice, and I feel like this card is speaking directly to what changes after this conversation happens. Justice is about balance being restored, about something being set right that has been sitting out of alignment for too long. I feel like what changes between you and this person after this honest talk is the fundamental dynamic of honesty in your connection. Right now, there are things unspoken. There is an imbalance between what is felt and what is actually said. And Justice says that ends once this conversation happens, once the truth comes forward, the scales between you even out in a way that creates a new foundation. I feel like one of the most significant changes is that you will no longer have to read between the lines with this person the way you have been. The guessing, the interpreting silences, the wondering what they actually mean versus what they actually say. That chapter closes here. Justice in the outcome position of what changes tells me this conversation restores something. It puts something back into its right place. And I feel like for a lot of you that restoration is going to feel like relief more than anything else, like something finally landing correctly. Because honestly, the not knowing has been its own kind of weight, and what this conversation brings is the freedom that comes with clarity. So when this person steps forward, receive it. Because what they are bringing is not just words, it is a rebalancing of everything between you. The cards are very clear that this is a pivotal moment, one that both of you have been moving toward even if only one of you knew it. Now let's go deeper and see what is underneath this. because this is where we go beneath the surface of what this person is about to say into what they have never actually said at all. These are the things living underneath the honest talk, the deeper truths that may not come out in words but are driving everything. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is the layer of the reading that is really going to land and really going to stay with you. The first card coming through in this position is the Devil reversed. And I feel like this card is so powerful here. The Devil reversed is about someone finally breaking free from something they have allowed to keep them bound, kept them limited, kept them stuck. I feel like this person has been holding themselves back from the full truth of what they feel for you. And there has been a reason for that. Maybe it was fear of how it would be received. Maybe it was a story they told themselves about what they deserved or what was possible. Maybe it was a pattern of self-sabotage, a habit of pulling back from anything that felt too real, too exposed, too emotionally risky. The Devil reversed is saying that whatever the chain was, whatever was keeping them from bringing the full weight of their truth to you, it is breaking. And what is breaking free underneath it is something they have held so tightly and so privately that most people around them do not even know it exists. I feel like the hidden confession underneath all of this, the thing they have never said, is how deeply and specifically they want you. Not in a vague way, not in a passing way, but in a way that has surprised even them with its consistency and its staying power. Because this is not a feeling that faded when they pulled back, it did not dissolve when there was distance, it just went underground. And it has been sitting underground this whole time, feeding the hermit its reflection, fueling the chariot's resolve, and now it is ready to rise. The next card coming through here is the Four of Wands. And this card is bringing through something tender and very specific from this person. The Four of Wands is the card of homecoming, of a place where you feel safe, celebrated, fully seen, and fully welcomed exactly as you are. I feel like when this person thinks of you, when they are most honest with themselves about what you represent to them, this is the energy. You feel like home to them. And that is not something they have said. That is not something they have come close to articulating out loud. There is a warmth that comes up in them around you that they have not allowed themselves to fully acknowledge or to fully claim. Because claiming it means admitting how much it matters, and admitting how much it matters makes the risk of losing it feel very real. So the hidden truth of the Four of Wands is that this person has been protecting themselves from how safe and how wanted they feel around you. Like if they said it out loud, named it, owned it, they would be fully exposed in a way that terrifies a part of them and always has. I feel like some of you in your quietest moments have sensed this from them, sensed that there is more there than what they have been showing. And the cards are confirming that your sense of that has always been accurate. There is a whole world inside them about you that has been quiet. The final card in this layer is the Wheel of Fortune, and I feel like this card is speaking to something almost fated about this moment. The Wheel of Fortune is about timing, about cycles completing, about things arriving exactly when they are meant to arrive. I feel like this person has a sense, even if they cannot fully articulate it, that this conversation is supposed to happen right now. That there is something about the timing of this that feels meant, that feels like things aligning in a way that does not come around twice. And the hidden emotional truth connected to the wheel is that this person believes in what exists between you on a level that goes beyond logic. Like somewhere deep in them, they know this connection is not accidental. They feel the weight of it, the meaning of it, the rightness of it. That is what they have never said, that this is not just a situation for them. It is something they feel pulled toward in a way they cannot fully explain. The honest talk that is coming is the Wheel of Fortune completing a cycle. It is this person finally aligning their outer actions with their inner truth. And what they bring forward in that conversation, even if they do not say all of this in those words, carries every single one of these hidden layers. So when you hear what they have to say, know that underneath it is so much more, and the cards have just given you a glimpse of all of it. I feel like this layer of the reading exists so that you walk into this conversation knowing what is at stake for both of you. Now let's move into the next layer, because this is the closing layer of this reading, and this is where we look at what the near future holds and what the cards want you to know. I feel like this final part is going to bring a lot of things together in a way that leaves you feeling clear and genuinely hopeful. The first card coming through in this closing position is the Nine of Cups, and I love this card so much for this outcome. The Nine of Cups is the wish card. It is the card of emotional satisfaction, of something you have been quietly hoping for actually arriving. I feel like this card is the universe confirming that what you have been wanting from this connection is not out of reach at all. The honest talk that is coming from this person is the beginning of that wish, moving from something you hold privately to something real. And the Nine of Cups is saying that the emotional outcome on the other side of this conversation carries a real sense of fulfillment with it. I feel like for a lot of you, one of the things you have been wishing for most is simply to feel like this connection has solid ground. To stop navigating the uncertainty, to stop carrying the weight of what is unspoken, and to finally stand on something that feels certain. The Nine of Cups in this position is saying that ground is coming, and this conversation is the first firm step onto it. The advice coming through here is to go into this with an open heart, not a guarded one, because the energy this person is bringing is genuine. I feel like some of you might be tempted to hold back a little during this conversation, to protect yourself just in case it does not go the way you hope. And the cards are gently saying that the version of you who walks in with walls up is going to miss some of the depth of what this person offers. You do not have to hand over all of your vulnerability at once, but stay open enough to actually receive what they are coming to give you. Because the Nine of Cups does not fulfill itself, it meets someone halfway, and your willingness to be present is part of what calls this in. The next card coming through for the near future and outcome is Temperance. And this card is so beautifully placed right here. Temperance is the card of divine timing, of things flowing at exactly the right pace, of a natural and steady unfolding that does not need to be rushed. I feel like this card is telling you something very important about how things move forward between you after this honest talk happens. It is not going to be a sudden dramatic shift where everything changes overnight and lands perfectly formed in a single moment. It is going to flow. It is going to build. It is going to move at a pace that allows both of you to actually integrate what is happening. And I feel like that is actually a really beautiful thing, because temperance outcomes tend to be lasting ones, not flash in the pan ones. What gets built between you after this conversation, the new honesty, the new foundation, it has the energy of something that sticks. Temperance is also telling me that both of you are going to surprise yourselves a little with how naturally this flows once the truth is out. Like the conversation itself might feel a little nerve-wracking to anticipate, but once it is actually happening, something relaxes in both of you. Because the truth between two people who genuinely care about each other has a way of creating relief rather than rupture, and that is what this is. The final card for this reading, the card that closes everything out, is the Ten of Pentacles, and wow, this is a powerful closing card. The Ten of Pentacles is legacy energy. It is the card of something that is built to last, something that has real depth and real staying power. I feel like this card as a closing outcome is saying that what is on the other side of this honest talk is not temporary or fleeting. There is a quality to where this connection can go after this moment, a solidity to it, a sense that this is something that can actually stand. The Ten of Pentacles does not show up for casual connections or passing moments. It shows up when something has genuine long-term weight. And I feel like the cards are closing this reading on that note very intentionally. They want you to know the potential here is real. So the final message from this reading is this. Prepare for this conversation not with anxiety, but with a quiet and grounded confidence. Prepare by trusting yourself, by knowing that what you carry into this exchange is worth receiving, and so is what they are bringing to you. This honest talk is not something to brace for. It is something to welcome because on the other side of it is exactly the kind of clarity you have been asking for. And the cards are saying it is coming, the timing is right, and you are more ready for it than you know. So trust that and stay open. Because this is the closing layer of this reading, and this is where we look at what the near future holds and what the cards want you to know. I feel like this final part is going to bring a lot of things together in a way that leaves you feeling clear and genuinely hopeful. The first card coming through in this closing position is the Nine of Cups, and I love this card so much for this outcome. The Nine of Cups is the wish card. It is the card of emotional satisfaction, of something you have been quietly hoping for actually arriving. I feel like this card is the universe confirming that what you have been wanting from this connection is not out of reach at all. The honest talk that is coming from this person is the beginning of that wish, moving from something you hold privately to something real. And the Nine of Cups is saying that the emotional outcome on the other side of this conversation carries a real sense of fulfillment with it. I feel like for a lot of you, one of the things you have been wishing for most is simply to feel like this connection has solid ground. To stop navigating the uncertainty, to stop carrying the weight of what is unspoken, and to finally stand on something that feels certain. The Nine of Cups in this position is saying that ground is coming, and this conversation is the first firm step onto it. The advice coming through here is to go into this with an open heart, not a guarded one, because the energy this person is bringing is genuine. I feel like some of you might be tempted to hold back a little during this conversation, to protect yourself just in case it does not go the way you hope. And the cards are gently saying that the version of you who walks in with walls up is going to miss some of the depth of what this person offers. You do not have to hand over all of your vulnerability at once, but stay open enough to actually receive what they are coming to give you. Because the Nine of Cups does not fulfill itself, it meets someone halfway, and your willingness to be present is part of what calls this in. The next card coming through for the near future and outcome is Temperance. And this card is so beautifully placed right here. Temperance is the card of divine timing, of things flowing at exactly the right pace, of a natural and steady unfolding that does not need to be rushed. I feel like this card is telling you something very important about how things move forward between you after this honest talk happens. It is not going to be a sudden dramatic shift where everything changes overnight and lands perfectly formed in a single moment. It is going to flow. It is going to build. It is going to move at a pace that allows both of you to actually integrate what is happening. And I feel like that is actually a really beautiful thing because temperance outcomes tend to be lasting ones, not flash in the pan ones. What gets built between you after this conversation, the new honesty, the new foundation, it has the energy of something that sticks. Temperance is also telling me that both of you are going to surprise yourselves a little with how naturally this flows once the truth is out. Like the conversation itself might feel a little nerve-wracking to anticipate, but once it is actually happening, something relaxes in both of you. Because the truth between two people who genuinely care about each other has a way of creating relief rather than rupture, and that is what this is. The final card for this reading, the card that closes everything out, is the Ten of Pentacles, and wow, this is a powerful closing card. The Ten of Pentacles is legacy energy. It is the card of something that is built to last, something that has real depth and real staying power. I feel like this card as a closing outcome is saying that what is on the other side of this honest talk is not temporary or fleeting. There is a quality to where this connection can go after this moment, a solidity to it, a sense that this is something that can actually stand. The Ten of Pentacles does not show up for casual connections or passing moments. It shows up when something has genuine long-term weight. And I feel like the cards are closing this reading on that note very intentionally. They want you to know the potential here is real. So the final message from this reading is this. Prepare for this conversation not with anxiety, but with a quiet and grounded confidence. Prepare by trusting yourself, by knowing that what you carry into this exchange is worth receiving, and so is what they are bringing to you. This honest talk is not something to brace for. It is something to welcome because on the other side of it is exactly the kind of clarity you have been asking for. And the cards are saying it is coming, the timing is right, and you are more ready for it than you know. So trust that and stay open. The first card coming through in this closing position is the Nine of Cups. And I love this card so much for this outcome. The Nine of Cups is the wish card. It is the card of emotional satisfaction, of something you have been quietly hoping for actually arriving. I feel like this card is the universe confirming that what you have been wanting from this connection is not out of reach at all. The